Thanks, Craig, and thanks to everybody that's joined the webinar this afternoon for a business update. And we've got some really exciting updates to share with you all since our last update in February, some 6 weeks ago. So thanks for joining us. We're also joined by one of our new advisors to the team, Bohm, who's based up there in the United States. And I'm really excited to share some of the material updates that he and his team have brought to the business only in the last couple of months. So we'll share some of those results with you. And we also have our new CFO who's joined us in the last 2 weeks, Catherine Andrews. So we welcome Catherine to the team, and she's here on the webinar as well. I'm going to clip through some of the slides at a reasonably quick pace because I want to make sure that I allow some time at the end for some Q&A for everybody who may have some questions about some of the updates that are in. So I'll clip through now. We've been through the forward-looking statements. Thank you, Craig, for that. I appreciate that. Just some of the key messages on the updates that we wanted to share with you today. We are executing on the vision and strategy to be a leader in personalized predictive genomics. And we've shared that in the past, and that remains our strategy. Our journey from R&D and innovation to commercialization and that pathway to profitability is well underway, and we continue to innovate on that journey, and we've got an exciting update to share with you all today. Some of the key messages and milestones that we want to share with you today is that the launch of our new digital strategy and the transformation strategy for the GeneType brand is implemented and has commenced, and some of the initial results will be shared with you today. And we've never seen an explosion of interest in this organization like we have in the last month since its inception. Know Your Risk Women's Health event will be held in Pasadena in the United States on the 21st of May, co-hosted by some real industry heavyweights, Crystal Barter, who is a patient advocacy company, Humanize Health, and Dr. Christy Funk, who is a breast care surgeon, who is also the breast surgeon to Angelina Jolie, who made BRCA1, BRCA2 very, very notarized over the course of her journey as a breast surgeon. Launching the world's most comprehensive risk test on the back of our hereditary breast and ovarian cancer test, and some major breakthroughs in the early detection of the sinister disease, pancreatic cancer, and the update on the industry partnership and that MRFF grant. New market opportunities. We are looking at 3 very exciting opportunities in Europe, in Southeast Asia, and in the United Kingdom. So we are really poised to have a massive global expansion heading our way over the next 12 to 18 months. Global collaborations and the continuing our strong commitments to ESG. There's some of the key updates that we will be sharing with you over the next 20 minutes, and open the floor to questions after that. Back on our vision, we want to be a world leader in personalized predictive genomics, empowering individuals to take control of their health, but more importantly, empowering physicians to improve the health outcomes for people around the world and enabling a new era of personalized medicine. Our portfolio spans 3 brands, the GeneType brand, EasyDNA, and Affinity DNA brand, and it is a whole-of-life human and animal health portfolio with the GeneType multi-risk test at the jewel in the crown and the cornerstone of our innovation, non-invasive prenatal testing, carrier screening, pharmacogenomics, oncogenetic or monogenic disease testing, and pet care and animal testing, a whole-of-life portfolio. A snapshot of our global business is we have about 60 FTEs across the globe. We have touch points in 40 countries. We have 25 patents across the GeneType brand, either granted or pending worldwide. We're in 14 different test categories, 51 tests, and 12 partner laboratories. We also have our own NATA-accredited, CLIA-certified laboratory here in Australia, which is where all of our GeneType tests are currently being manufactured and produced, and all the results are coming out of. So it's a real credit to the team, to what they've created here in the Australian environment. Here is some of the first half results that we have shared. We will be updating this for our Q3 results for the US, or Q3 results ending March 31st in the coming days. So we'll be publishing that probably in the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. 29% growth year on year were our results for the end of the year. Half year cash receipts at $3.9 million. At the time, cash balance $3.7 million. Gross margin of $2.1 million or 51 percentage points. We've been working very, very hard on product mix, margin mix, and sales in this particular area for cash receipts. And the gross margin is up 4 percentage points. I mentioned before our pathway to profitability takes 3 really big chunks in the origin of this organization. We've spent 20 years in the R&D and innovation and creating the tests that we have today, the 9 diseases that we cover off, 6 in oncology, 2 cardiovascular, and 1 in metabolic disease with type 2 diabetes, covering 70% of the annual morbidity and mortality rates. So we're not rare diseases, we are common, complex diseases for everyday people and population-wide impact. The commercialization that we've been working on over the last 18 months is really coming to life. And then over the next 18 months, it's really putting the foot down on that pathway to profitability to bring really material revenues. And I just heard that sort of tail end of that Bloomberg interview that was done just a few weeks ago. But that absolute material revenues for us to drive that profitability in the next 18 months is critical on the agenda for everybody in the team. Here are some of the key milestones that we've shared this slide before, but I want to bring your attention to 2 highlighted areas in green here. The new digital transformation strategy. And this was born out of the fact that we wanted to make sure that we drove material revenues and sales faster. We know that there is a really big opportunity and a big piece of the pie when you look at the business-to-business pipeline, the license agreements and the payers. But that's a long, slow journey, and we're finding that a longer and slower journey. So we've turned on this strategy and we've got Malcolm and his team on board to actually really expedite that. And I'm sure that you'll agree when you see a slide in a moment that there is some real traction really quick happening here. So we're excited by that. We'll also share with you on the next part here where we've launched the announcing of the development of the most comprehensive risk assessment test that we've ever produced, and it'll be a world first on the back of the hereditary breast and ovarian cancer test. They are the 2 areas that I wanted to draw your attention to, which differ from the slide that we'd previously presented 6 weeks ago. Our ESG policy, we are committed to the World Health Organization and environmental, social, and governance policies here. And we've done a number of things over the first half of the year to make sure that we focus on that board composition. And one of those was actually bringing on 2 commercial advisors into the organization to really help us step change the revenues and the profile of the organization. Ethical behavior by the review of some of our policies and procedures there, and the diversity and inclusion is an ongoing area of review for us as an organization. Moving into the digital transformation results, and here is just a snapshot of some of the results that we've received and seen in the last 28 days alone. And I mentioned earlier at the start that we've never seen an explosion of interest in the organization through our social media and digital channels like we have in the last 28 days. Now, this is more than just the numbers. This leading indicators here for a successful selling platform on our consumer-initiated testing here. So you look at this results here, Facebook likes up 6,500 in the last 28 days. We look at reach at 60,000, up 557% in the last 28 days. And we look here at the Facebook page visits, up 1,500% in the last 28 days. Now, this is a massive growth in our audience that are embracing the brand and really just wanted to make sure that this is just not anyone and everyone. This is a really targeted approach to women in the United States, ages 35 to 65, which is the target audience for the GeneType product. So we are exceptionally excited, and I'm sure that if you were interested in asking more questions about this, Malcolm would be delighted to answer some of these and some of the strategies that he's employed early on in the piece, which gives us incredible excitement going forward. I talked earlier about the Know Your Risk Women's Health event in Pasadena in May 21, hosted by 2 absolute leading ladies in patient advocacy and human healthcare. Dr. Christy Funk, breast surgeon to Angelina Jolie and a very, very well-known breast surgeon, owner of Pink Lotus Center, will be co-hosting this event with Crystal Barter, who's the co-founder and CEO of Humanize Health, breast cancer survivors themselves. It's just an amazing event for us to be able to showcase. And we will be exploring all about the genetic insights that shape personalized health strategies and encourage women to proactively manage their health. We will have patient advocacy groups. We'll have large employer groups there. We have some physicians there. We'll have between 80 and 120 people at the event in May, and we're exceptionally excited about this. Front and center at this event, we'll be talking about the comprehensive breast and ovarian cancer test, the most comprehensive test for early detection of breast and ovarian cancer, looking at the 5% of cancers diagnosed that are linked to hereditary disease, 10% that's linked to familial history, but more importantly, the 85% of disease that is sporadic or random, where there is absolutely no family history. So this is absolutely a game-changing test that will be front and center and showcased with the science community, the physician community, and all of the guests, the patient advocacy groups, including screening clinics that are coming to this event in May. So we're super excited about this particular event. On the back of the success of the development of that breast and ovarian cancer, we've now embarked on a very audacious goal to develop the most comprehensive risk assessment test ever produced. The 9 different diseases that we cover in oncology, cardiovascular, and type 2 diabetes for breast, ovarian cancer, pancreatic, colorectal cancer, melanoma, and prostate cancer, coupled with atrial fibrillation and coronary artery disease, covers 70% of annual mortality and morbidity rates annually in the world. We're going to add now more than 200 high-penetrant hereditary-based genes to this particular test, which will give us coverage of nearly 100% of people at risk of this disease, going well beyond the 5 to 15%, which is linked to hereditary and family history, but including that remaining 85% of people where it's random or sporadic, where there's absolutely no family history. So this is going to be the most comprehensive risk assessment test. Technically, we know it's possible. Technically, it requires a fair bit of work from our incredibly talented scientific and medical team, but it's possible, and it's on the agenda, and it's launched for development right now. One of the other milestones that we've achieved as a team in the scientific community is this sinister disease of pancreatic cancer. And it's a silent killer, and so many things that come out are just asymptomatic, and all of a sudden someone has very, very late stage pancreatic cancer. This looked at 380,000 adults between the ages of 40 and 69 through the UK Biobank, and we were able to identify 50% improvement in identifying high-risk patients than any other metric out there. And there's the link to the publication at the bottom of this presentation that I know that the RedChip team will send out to anybody who's interested in this particular presentation or the technical aspect of the paper going forward. So happy to share that. It's open source, it's peer-reviewed, and it's published, and we're very, very happy to share the findings of our results. Clinical utility is an absolute important aspect of making sure this becomes part of a physician's standard of care. So we're part of a $2.4 million multi-cancer risk clinical trial at the moment, which has kicked off here in Australia, which involves physicians, clinics, Melbourne University, and we are the only commercial partner looking at all of our oncology-based tests in this particular grant. So the aim and the objective and the endpoint here is to reshape the standard of care and the screening protocols for early detection of cancer going forward. So this has commenced. We're very excited by this and to partner with the University of Melbourne. And we're looking for more of these types of clinical trials where we can implement our test as parts of standards of care across the world. And we know that we've got a number of conversations happening in the United States at the moment and hoping to be able to share some more details with that very, very soon. I mentioned at the start of the conversation that we're exploring new markets. We have a Southeast Asian opportunity here. This one's actually within the Indonesian healthcare system. So we're in late stages of developed a draft MOU with this organization in Indonesia. They're obviously away at Ramadan at the moment, so they will be back in the next week or so. So we'll continue this conversation with them. We have a late stage conversation happening and a draft MOU also with an organization and a laboratory partner in one of the European countries. In fact, it's the 4th largest healthcare system in Europe. So it's very, very exciting there. And we have a third one with a United States-based organization which has access to more than 15 different healthcare systems and up to 30 million lives covered. There are 3 material licensing agreements that we've got going on at the moment that we are really excited to try and bring to a close, so we can then share those and drive those material B2B revenues that we've talked about at the start of the presentation on that pathway to profitability. Just in final stages here with the commercialization aspects of the organization, this month we launch into the UK pharmacy. It's the latest part of this month here, where we will be going into 11,000 pharmacies with the EasyDNA and the Affinity DNA brand to launch off with, and then follow very quickly with them the GeneType brand, doing some work at the moment on that go-to-market plan. So the National Pharmacy Association with these brands here will have us in more than 3 million households, 11,000 pharmacies across the country. And we're excited to open up that new channel for us for the organization going forward. All online, all e-commerce, so there won't be physical stock or physical inventory in the stores. It's all being able to do the tests and order it and transact that all online within the stores. Our 3 pathways to profit, pathways and go-to-market plans in our B2B, which we've talked about. Consumer-initiated and the DTC strategies are the real ones where we're getting some big investment behind as part of our near-term strategy. This is being driven and led in the United States by Malcolm and his team. And again, if you've got any questions for Malcolm, please ask those at the end of the conclusion of this presentation. I'm sure he'd be delighted to answer those on behalf of the group. Phase 1, phase 2, we have really worked hard on the EasyDNA brand refresh. That refresh is now live. All of those websites are now live in those markets. And now we're really working hard on SEO, SEM, lead generation, Facebook ads in a number of those countries. And we've also launched a number of countries with Amazon, so we can be more targeted in some of those areas there. So a really exciting development over the last 6 months of the EasyDNA business. Lost a couple of products in the portfolio over the last 12 months, and we've regained a couple of new products as well. So just the evolution of that brand continues to evolve based on what the consumers are looking for around the world in the different countries. I mentioned global collaborations. This is a really a jewel in the crown for the team, the science team, and some of the collaborations that they've got worldwide going are world-class, with Harvard Medical School, Washington State University, Universities of Melbourne, Victorian Comprehensive Cancer Centres here in Melbourne, Memorial Sloan Kettering, and Ohio State University, just to name a few, which are just super exciting for the team and the cornerstone to the development and the continued innovation of our organisation and our products that we bring to market. So working with these guys is critical in not only the clinical validity of our tests, the innovation, the R&D of our tests, but the clinical utility and the implementation of that with our clinicians around the world. I'll share this. I won't go into too much detail. I'm conscious that I'm going to be running short on time, and I want to open it up to a number of questions. So this is going to be in the slide deck to be able to be shared out there, but really some of the results were highlighted in the earliest parts of the slides that I wanted to just highlight to you all as a group. In summary, we've got a clear vision, a clear strategy to be a leader in personalized predictive genomics. We've identified the drivers and the pathways to profitability. We've got strong momentum in our commercial operations and global operations with a comprehensive human and animal portfolio. We've got leading global collaborations, and we've begun our journey with ESG and a well-defined strategic plan to execute a multi-brand strategy across a number of key regions across the globe.